monthly reading for the month of June 2026. Thought about starting that over because I fucked up, but I don't think I will. Screw it. So, what's going on in your life right now? Soulmate, twin flame, friendship, romantic partner. Okay, that's a situation that we will be reading on today. All right, so let's see Aries and the situation in their life as it stands right now as they watch this reading. Judgment reversed, not sure of a calling, uncertain if you know your value. Eight of Pentacles, kind of focusing on work here. Hyper focusing on making your money and getting your bag, but you're wondering where's your greater purpose. What are you supposed to be doing with your life? That type of questioning. I feel like you have a person around you that's a King of Pentacles, so a Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. Otherwise, it's just someone who is accomplished with their money and their wisdom, have a lot of value. They're sought out for their intelligence on matters. They're stable, steady money. They do their own thing, what they want, when they want. So what do you have right now? What are your most valuable asset at this time? The Lovers. Yeah, this relationship that's blossoming or something, or going to a new level. Four of Cups reversed, Ace of Wands reversed. Even when things are undesirable, let's say, and maybe there's not as much passion or inspiration there, or emotionally things are a little off or disappointing, or there's discontent or something like that, you still accept the situation for what it is and move forward. That's definitely the hallmark of a stable person with reasonable expectations, Three of Wands, for a long-term relationship. Willing to go through tough times and still accept that that's a natural and normal part of long-term relationships, friendships, or romantic or otherwise. Okay, so what needs to change this month for your best interests as advised by your loved ones on the other side? The Devil. Okay, so there's a repeated pattern, something that has been ongoing for a long time, and it's an opportunity for you to make a change, or else it wouldn't show up here. So that's positive as fuck. And with that, we have the Seven of Cups reversed. For this, and Seven of Pentacles reversed as well. I think there's a pattern of feeling like you're trapped, that you don't have a lot of options, having a lack of perspective, like a wider perspective on things, and seeing a full picture, kind of in too deep. Okay. So that's what needs to change. Okay, is having a larger perspective and feeling that you have options. Hermit reversed. Yeah, it's like you don't spend a lot of time by yourself. You might spend a lot of time with this person that you're with, or just out and about. And so there's not a lot of time there for you to deeply think about and consider what's happening in your own life, the people that you're with, your own personal value, if things might be better, if you were elsewhere or doing something different. Knight of Swords in the reverse, or upright actually, at the base of the deck here. I think you have a strong desire to come to the rescue, and I want to even say like provide justice here with this card, just the way it looks. That may be clouding your vision or getting in the way of you bringing justice to yourself or making sure that you're being treated fairly. It's because you're always about helping others or putting others first in this context, at least. All right, so what's going on at the home life inside your house? Chariot, Queen of Cups reversed. I see you kind of having to take control over things going on in the household because there is a person who is emotionally unstable. Seven of Pentacles. This might be your person. Someone who may have addiction issues. They might have like bouts of depression or different like mood swings, and kind of they're unpredictable, and therefore they are not, for whatever reason, they're not doing their part of the load of taking care of the household, and that's something that you've taken to be under your control. And I'm saying all this because I'm seeing the Seven of Pentacles reverse here, as this is something that you have not looked at in an objective enough way. Like, the story we're getting so far is that you have a lot of value of like being compassionate and weathering tough storms when it comes to your relationships and with people. But then you're not hearing a calling. You're not seeing something that's right in front of your eyes. And it has to do with this person that you're with. Whether you live with them, their relationship, whatever, you will know this person because they are emotionally unstable. All right. Now that can be on like a sliding scale of things, but it's like if you don't know if they're going to like break down in tears, or if they're going to get really angry, or, just clam up and turn away and turn cold, if they're like kind of pulling you through a lot of these different cycles of drama, then that's who we're talking about this month. What do you need to have the courage to do, again, for your best interest, so your guides and higher self want you to know? Emperor reversed. Ten of Wands. Hierophant reversed. So in an unconventional move, they're asking you to lay all the burdens at the feet of the person who is either subconsciously or consciously calling a lot of the shots. And this is also your card, Aries, but first and foremost, I just want to say that there's someone around here who is making everything revolve around them without having the knowledge, the wisdom, the discipline, the concern and compassion for others, like just by default, because of their chaotic nature, and lack of discipline. They're creating a huge burden around them for you and for everyone else involved. Five of Wands reversed. They don't listen to what anyone else has to say. They are very resistant to anyone kind of controlling them or telling them anything. And I think this showing up here and this position is telling you that you basically have to flip the script on them. So if they need you to pick up all the pieces for them around the home and make sure that like bills go paid and everything's getting cleaned and tidied, and there's always groceries in the fridge, well, now it's like, all right, pull the rug out, like it's time to fucking flip this shit around, so that this person, if this is the same person, can have a come to Jesus moment and realize how important and pivotal you've been, but also how problematic they've been, I'd say, on that. So when it comes to the details that Aries Rising might be avoiding this month, what do they need to be made aware of? Strength reversed. Death. These are big cards. I mean, this is like a very big subject. Don't be hard on yourself if this takes more than just 1 month to get figured out. It seems like an ongoing thing, and we're kind of getting a whole story here about something that you might not have seen. Tower at the base, so it can definitely boil over into chaos if you're not aware of it, okay? So impatience has caused a major change in the way that money is being handled. And there's too much money dumping out on someone who is highly anxious, who's brokenhearted, and who is requiring a lot of emotional support at this time. And they also offer a lot of emotional support. I want to say, like, this person is not a fucking demon, but because they haven't had the prudence and the self-discipline and self-control, that's the genesis of why so much of what is going on here is completely out of fucking whack. Because they first of all, they're mentally hard on themselves, and they give more than they receive in all the wrong places. I also feel like they are a taker as well, but not by asking. It's more just like, well, they're so kind and compassionate. They're a king of cups over here. And they're really, they care a lot about me. So I need to care a lot about them. But then they just ended up being a drain on resources because they don't have the discipline to do any of the inner work to get themselves to a higher ground where they can actually pull their own weight, be responsible, and be equal to you. And so that's how all this shit got started, and it will come to a tower if you don't turn around and show them, hey, I've been doing too much, love you still, like we're good, or what. Obviously, this is your life, do whatever you want. But this is coming up here that it's important that they see how hard it's been for you and what you go through every single month in order to make sure that everyone's kept safe and alive, and the household remains running and things like that. All right, so let's look at this person more in depth. Your person, as it turns out, a love relationship, Knight of Swords. So they're always the first to rush in and try to help other people. They have kind of a bearing of being very impulsive and wanting to be the white knight, or someone that is like, stop the car, we got to help this turtle get across the road, or like whatever. And that mental chaos and things like that there as well. At the base here, we have the sun reverse. So they're going through a definite bout of depression and feeling pretty low on themselves. And so because of this, there's been a degrading of how much they take care of themselves, how much they take care of you, how much they take care of their household, their hope for the future. Discipline is out the window, right? So like, although they do have these good character qualities, ultimately the major change has to come back into the equation at some point. Like, are we going to continue to be depressed and be a drain on everything and everyone around us, even the people we love and care about? We got to think about this, because you can't just continue to keep accepting and distracting yourself from what's really happening and just saying, I don't have any other options. Like, you always have options. And I'm not saying you have to leave this person today, but I am saying at least give them a chance to have the situation that they have created by their own inaction and undiscipline. Let them face that directly. I think you've been a buffer and protected them from a lot of the consequences of their own absconding from healing themselves and taking a higher vantage point of their life, and saying, you know what, things have been tough because of X, Y, and Z in this past pain that hasn't quite been healed yet. But Aries Rising still in my life, and they love me, and I want to do this for them. Or, life is long, the situation's temporary, things can always get better. I've got to have hope and faith in myself, rather than focusing in on other people and thinking that I can run around and help them. What else do we need to know about this Knight of Swords character? This person in Aries' life. Eight of Pentacles. Knight of Cups reverse. They have a long term temperance also. Interesting. Okay, so that's part of their healing too, of Cups reversed. I mean, you've really balanced them out here. Again, that's just like reiterating what I was saying, that like they won't reach a new perspective with the Hangman until you disengage from balancing them out. Because what they're actually doing over here is they're in a repeated habit where they don't even notice it anymore. It's something that's going on and on and on for a very long time, where they kind of show that they need like romantic or emotional actions made towards them for them to feel stable. And so there's a lot of like you pandering to them and you making sure they're emotionally like on an even keel and stuff like that. And they no longer are used to maintaining that for themselves or taking actual positive action towards their own emotional well-being. They just wake up and they feel like shit and they look to you to correct that. Like a baby that needs a diaper change. Like, I'm so for real. This is not, This person has a lot of fucking good qualities, and I don't want to tear into them, but this whole situation is kind of toxic here, where you wanted to support them the way they've probably supported you, and but you didn't stop, and you weren't measured about it. You just kept doing it, and then they got used to that, and now they don't even know how to take care of themselves emotionally. Like, they could have been, to use a horrible metaphor, changing their own diaper or using the big boy, big girl potty by now. But because you have like always done it for them, like, why would they start doing it themselves? They don't even see that need. And that's where it comes back to, you got to flip the scripts and show them all of the labor that you've been doing, emotional and otherwise. And as well as like, let them sit in it, let them sit in the dirty diaper for a little bit. Okay. I mean, that's the best way I can put it. So what's that? What? Okay. This person has something of value. What is that value? What is that value to Aries? Nine of Swords. They are highly anxious and worried about what? The world. Nine of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. They, lots and lots of things, right? So it's like, what's our place in the world, or like, what's going on in the world, and things all around the world. And, they're deeply concerned about humanitarian issues. They're concerned about your dreams. They want to help you make your dreams come true. They're concerned about your financial abundance. They want to make sure you're comfortable and happy and satisfied and everything. But then we have the Tower with the Page of Swords. If this new situation isn't like acknowledged, it's not even really that new, to be honest with you. It's been an ongoing situation. If they don't learn about it, it's starting to get pissed off, man. If they don't acknowledge how little help they've actually been towards you by just being an anxious, emotional mess, and by not being a stronger person that maintains their own emotional well-being first, and doesn't look to you to make their whole life happen, there will be a fucking tower. There'll be a reckoning, man. And it's just like, there's only so much anybody can put up with. And on top of that, you're going to have people around in your corner, Three Cups, that are going to come out and be like, Aries, I don't like how this fucking person is treating you, and they haven't had a job in 2 years, or like they aren't, helping you clean up or take care of the kids, or they're not whatever, right? Like XYZ, and they seem like a really nice person, but at the end of the day, like, they're causing you so much more problems than solving them, and they don't seem to see that. So what are you going to do? What are you learning about right now in this context of this person, this soulmate relationship? Nine of Pentacles, the potential. Well, what does that actually mean? The Star reversed. Potential doesn't mean actualization. Not without action. There must be action to realize potential. And as much as you might see potential in them, Seven of Wands reversed, if they put you at a loss, if they're not helping build you up, if they're at a loss, if no one has higher ground, if no one's reaching higher ground, we're not climbing a ladder, we're just tumbling down the fucking hill, then what are we doing? The potential is wasted. That happens every day with each and every one of us. We do waste our potential. Not everything is fated. We are given the keys and we're given the cards, and what we do with those is up to us and our free will. We get lots of chances and opportunities, but you got to be prepared to capitalize on an opportunity. And this person is just so lost in like this whole headspace of like worrying about you, and about like, they probably watch a shitload of news, and they're like worried about, conflicts in other countries and stuff like that. And like, I get it, but that is totally destabilizing their mental health and their emotional well-being. And therefore they're nothing but a drain on you, my dear. And they're not doing any favors for themselves either. But I do think it's important to come back around and say, you're not doing any favors for them anymore. This is a beautiful character quality of standing by your person and carrying them through difficult times. But at some point, you got to call it. And, you know, with judgment here right at the beginning, everything's already in question in your own heart and in your own intuition. And this is why. Because, you know, there's no rest for you. And the situation can't continue this way without you getting burnt out. So what's the end result if Aries does flip the script on their person and shows them what's up? 10 of Cups. I mean, it's pretty fucking positive. Family. 4 of Pentacles. Empress reversed. 10 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles reversed. Okay. So essentially, it comes back to, you know, I want to keep the family together. I want to keep the home together. I'm doing this because it's important that you know it. That's both what you show them through your action, because this is not a communication card. This is like, here's what it is. Like, it's in your face now. And that's a reckoning of it. Now, here's what comes after that. Empress reversed. So there could be some element of it turning back around on you, like you're trying to control my life, or you're being withholding with your love and compassionate energy. And then with the 10 of Pentacles right behind it, and then the 5 of Pentacles, there's like I think this is tough. I think you go to focus more on your work and with the groups that you're already a part of outside of the relationship, while this person's reckoning with the idea that you've cut them off. So instead of being so hyper focused in on the relationship, they're not going to like this. All right. And that doesn't mean it's a permanent situation, but this is like your effort to save it. And that's why I'm saying they recognize it's your effort to save it. They still aren't going to like this. So that's when you go and you focus on your career, you focus on your work, you focus on like your extended family or something like that here. And then with the 5 of Pentacles, it's like you move more into a private space away from this person in order to regenerate yourself, find value, and make sure that you're secure and good while they are transitioning out of their dependency on you to what are you going to do? Because this does put all of the onus on them to take action. And, you know, you're still going to show them unconditional love regardless. So if this is still here, they're still showing you that as well. Like there's no like real love lost between you, but it's definitely a rip the band-aid off moment of like, look, here's how it is. I'm no longer going to do your laundry. I'm not cleaning up after you. I'm not filling up the whatever. Like this could even be if it's bad enough you go and stay with extended family or a work colleague or something like that, just to get the fuck out of the situation so that you're able to regenerate yourself and they're faced with the reality of the situation. So ultimately, of course, that's your call. How do others respond to this situation outside of you two? Wheel of Fortune, about damn time. About damn time. You're going to have supporters agreeing that this is about damn time. Even people from their side, you know, if it's like their family or anyone else, like, yeah. Page of Pentacles reversed. You know, I think there's going to be doubters to thinking that either of you have learned anything, though. And so it's something that you need to know. Sun reverse, you know, that losing the hope and faith of the renewal or the joy can come back as a long-term thing. And maybe not everyone understands your connection, but there's going to be doubters around that are going to say stuff like, Aries Rising is just going to go back and things are going to go back to the way they were. Or they'll say their person, you know, like they'll just do it for a little while and make sure the housework's done for a little while, but then they'll go right back to their regular shit. So only you two can say whether that's what ends up happening. Again, excuse me, free will choices are still at play. It's just saying be aware that there are some people who are not going to have faith in the situation changing. And that's their opinion and not your business. All right, so what is needing to be released for Aries Rising's best interest by the end of the month? What needs to be let go, released, walked away from? King of Swords. Queen of Swords. Wow. I mean, maybe that's you too if y'all are both air signs, sun signs. Um, and just, the idealization of like, okay, we were a perfect match. Uh, sometimes you can still be soulmates, but things look pretty fucking ugly from time to time. And like, I think you know that, but if you get some distance, you're going to see just how bad things got. I think right now you have that internal feeling, but you're too close to it to see how unfair this situation has really gotten. Justice reversed at the base. And letting go of unfair situations because you have your personal truth and you are a logical person at some rate. I'm seeing that here, but you've got to let go of the idealization that y'all were on an even keel. I really feel like that's what this is saying. Like, you see them as your equal in all things and an equal partner. And maybe, over time that could be, but right now that's just not true. Ace of Swords reverse. It's false. Okay. Let's get a Witch's Moon Magic Oracle deck card. I just got these cards and I want to play around with them a bit. So let's bring out a card for Aries Rising. Something that they could use. Dark Moon Destructive Magic. Okay. The blackness of the dark moon brings desolation to your door as you are cast out. However, calling yourself a witch is an act of defiance that fights magical resistance. So instead of cloaking your supernatural senses with the twisted truth, ask the crone, the mistress of magic who rules the dark moon and holds the keys to the great mystery of life, death, and ultimately rebirth, to protect you in these darkened times. It's like the energy of being cast out or scapegoated, isolated, things growing dark around you. You're asking and calling in for protection. I mean, protection and not afraid to stand alone. Yeah, it's energy of having no one really on your side at this time, and other than your angels, of course, call them in for protection and trust that your value is important. That time apart doesn't mean it's all over. That this is the best option you have for protecting the relationship from falling apart before things get too bad too late. But ultimately, there's an element of this of like, you have to make a kind of peace with if walking away is going to destroy the relationship, that's okay with you. And that's really the hardest part ultimately. But it's an essential part of it. 28 on the clock. It's an essential part of it. And ask me how I know. So I was on the other end of it. And if you're a person that's caught up in delusion and you can only see things your way, and you don't realize no matter how many different ways your person tells you that you're hurting them, when they finally withdraw their energy from you, you know it's for real. And that's what this dark moon card and really this whole reading is asking you to do and be prepared to do and have the courage to do, is withdraw your energy from this person so that there's no one else to point the finger at and there can be no uncertainty about how serious you are. Your angels, guides, and loved ones have a message for you. What is it? Remember that you can't change anyone but yourself. Give your inner critique a vacation day and be kind to yourself. Stop pushing against what is. Align with it and move on. Ultimately, you can't change this person. They've spiraled into this place of darkness and are no longer moving forward. They're squandering their potential, and what's worse is they're dragging you down along with them. There's nothing more you could have done or can do other than to step away energetically and everything. It is what it is. You've got to reckon with the reality, and distance sometimes is the only way to do that. I don't see the relationship ending in this reading. I see you being faced with having a choice to step back and away, or being forced to do so by the energy of the universe, and being completely overburdened by having to care for this person on every level. Your guides don't want that for you. Your higher self didn't intend this, but it is a opportunity to stand in power and be ready to let all things go in order to survive. So, yeah, I want to get something else for you. I do. I mean, your guides are always here with you, but you also have, as I said, there are supporters around that see it your way. They may not have very kind words for your person, and that could be hard to hear. But ultimately, there are people that will have your back. Abundance. Number one. Abundance brings a reminder that there is a place where you too will find a myriad of possibilities. Focus your energy and attention on not what you lack, but what you know is out there waiting for you. Let your intuition be your guide. Abundance may appear if you need a reminder that from your current position you might not see what is out there waiting for you. Of course, most of the time this card represents a positive outcome. However, because these crows can be a bit cheeky, the meaning could very well indicate an abundance of something less favorable, such as an abundance of water in your basement. I mean, it's all around, decay and depression and fear. And if that's your home environment right now and you're doing all you can to control it, know that it's not coming directly from you, and that there are opportunities outside of where you are now to be released from that and move forward. And hopefully your person can be strong enough to come to, I want to say, the king's justice for some reason, but you know, they can't continue this way. And I never really see someone as being a complete victim or a complete perpetrator. Everyone kind of plays their role in like allowing people to break their boundaries or take advantage. And I think also it's so hard sometimes already for any of us to have a lot of clarity on our roles and situations. So, it's a kind of a no-brainer to forgive both them and yourself in this situation, but that doesn't mean you don't take action. Take action to put yourself in a better position. So yeah. Anyway, that's what I got for you. If you like that, I also have relationship readings for Venus signs. Definitely check that out. And then I just finished up the last of the 2026 biggest issue you'll face reading. So I also have that on my channel as well. Thanks for sticking through and for watching. And I wish you well, and take good care of yourself. And I'll see you next month. Bye.